following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. It is time to crown a champion here tonight in the second leg of 6 in the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing here at Talladega Superspeedway. It is the 4th race of the next-gen sequence of races. As tonight, it is the Masters of the Draft Series presented by Vet2Track here at virtual Talladega Superspeedway on iRacing. I'm the captain. We welcome you in on this Tuesday evening as we get ready to go for 250 miles and 94 laps of racing here on this track that was built back in 1969. Hosted its first race then, and has been hosting multiple races a year ever since. It is, well, realism-wise, the biggest track at oval-wise that these guys race on. Of course, you throw in the iRacing Super Speedway and stuff like that. It throws different elements in there. But tonight, we got a different monster on our hands as we get to go racing here. Let's take a look at the schedule. After tonight, it'll be a 2-week vacation for the cars before they go to the 87s on November the 12th from Daytona as we start a run of 87s, basically, the cars all the way through December. But tonight we'll crown a champion here in the Gen 7 section. Of course, the trucks was Joe Wells winning the championship in that, and Joe's got another chance to get that series championship here tonight, but he is not the hottest driver on the circuit. It is actually the 22 of course, last week's winner, as I'm actually noticing he is not even here tonight, I don't think. I don't even see his name on here. Hopefully everything's okay with of course, Travis, who was in chat with us last night. And yeah, that would be very unfortunate to see him not here tonight with the chance to bring home the championship in the Gen 7 cars here. But either way, we're going to get ready to go racing here momentarily. Travis Gilbert, that being, in the 22 car. And we'll see if he gets in here to grab. Yep, he just popped in. So there you go. Right on cue. It's like he was listening to chat, waiting for the time for him to show up. And he is here, and he's ready to go. And we'll be ready here for 94 laps in just a moment. Practice is going to be wrapping up here in literally about a minute or so. Let's take a look at the point standings as we enter the race here this evening. As Gilbert leads by 3 over his teammate Joe Wells. Shane Ward there in 3rd. Roger Rios Matias in 4th. And Jacob Bowen there in the 5th position. Right now, Melnick, Wilson, Johnson, AJ Condon, and Andrew Moore is your top 10 in the point standings. Overall wise, it's Joe Wells leading by 45 over Travis Gilbert. Quentin Clark there in 3rd. Shane Ward, Roger Rios Matias there also in the top 5. Then you got Scott Wise, Daryl Johnson, AJ Condon, Stephen Melnick, and Krishana Elliott, your top 10. And then team points wise right now, you have G Lightning Motorsports that leads by 92 over High Spirits. And of course, G Lightning Motorsports, there's 2 different G Lightning teams. They have 3rd in the points right now, kind of locked up, Torqued Wrench and TNT, but That G Lightning Motors team has been on fire, if you will. They've been fast as lightning, may I say, here this season, as they have won a majority of the races, especially here in this second rung of races here. Of course, you got 4 different races per each set, and here in this second round, it's been Joe Wells who went to victory lane the first race at Daytona, and then Travis Gilbert's won the last 2, and we'll see if he can make it 3 in a row tonight and maybe win the championship here in this second leg. We shall see, as all of a sudden my phone goes bananas. Let's go ahead and mute that. As qualifying is going to begin. And of course, qualifying is presented by Vet2Track. Or I'm sorry, the league's presented by Vet2Track. Qualifying is presented by Vivid EV. Of course, if you were watching the NASCAR Xfinity race this past weekend, you might have noticed the Vivid EV paint scheme that was on the number 29 of Blaine Perkins. That was literally painted by our very own Joe Wells here in chat. He'll be likely running that Vivid EV paint scheme here tonight. We'll see as the cars roll out on track, starting with the 25 of Al Likens right now. He'll be the first one out, and as per usual, qualifying is the same old, 2 laps, and the fastest will get the pole. And a lot of cars rolling out here very slowly, as Sam Taylor and the Napa number 9 rolling out there on the track. And you could easily say that qualifying in these cars are an art. Some have different ways of running their qualifying runs. You'll see sometimes people literally pace themselves all the way to turn 3 and then pick up speed to the start-finish line for their 2 laps. You'll see guys that are running literally half speed around the track like Dylan Picklesimmer. I mean, anything, you get all these different kind of, if you want to call it cheese-in or whatever, that you have to do to get the advantage to win the pole for the race or whatever it takes. As we look at Jacob Bowen as he goes through turn 1, kind of all over the track a little bit there in turn 1 and 2. I noticed slides up all the way to the top side here, down the back straightaway he goes. But hopefully everybody had a chance to check out the broadcast from yesterday as we did the redo of, or I shouldn't say the redo, the rebroadcast of the Atlanta race from last week, which of course won by Travis Gilbert. We were able to put that on for you, and now here we are live for this race. We were going to try to do a race earlier today, but we've had some issues pop up on me unexpectedly, and it prohibited me from getting another league race in tonight, so look for a doubleheader potentially here tomorrow. Krishan Elliott was the first one to put a lap time on the board at a 53.79, and Stephen Melnick, and now you're seeing others start to cross the line as Shane Ward, 53.30 right now at the top of the grid. Jacob Bowen second. 8 cars have got a lap in here so far. Pete Polini, 53.77 for him. As he crosses the line, we ride with the 6 right now of James Hudson. James had a little bit of a rough go at it last week at Talladega, or at Atlanta Motor Speedway. As he brings her off the back straightaway, going to bring it down into the tri-oval here. And now you'll see the guys complete their second lap, and that'll be the fast lap, like Krishan Elliott, 53.29 now. As Derek Jacobs, 53.26, goes to the pole. Melnick up to 3rd, Condon up to 5th, Shiflett up to 6th. And I think now you're going to see really those cars start to put that second lap to work. Al Likens, 53.27, goes P2. As we look out the back of the Sam Taylor car through the tri-oval. As Darrell Johnson goes P3, 53.27. Taylor crosses the line. He jumps to the 7th position. Ahoy, Mr. Bully Dog. Good to see you, buddy. And you see some purple on Gregory Thompson's lap. Could this be something in the 08 cars? He's down there on that apron. Brings it to the start-finish line. As Andrew Moore took the lead for all of 2.5 seconds. Gregory Thompson, 53.19 P1. Jason Branch jumps up there to third. I think he had the pole for literally a foof of a second. And everybody's got to get qualifying laps in. So it looks like if my count is correct here, we've got 2 cars left to get a lap in. Let's get everybody's point and paints up to date, by the way, here. So Dusty White here in the 11 car is going to be the first one across the start-finish line. And Dusty with a 53.30 on his first lap. I believe it's his first lap. We'll have to check on that, but they're not even going to get a second lap in. So that'll be it. Everybody gets their qualifying in. Greg Thompson will win the Vivid EV Pole Award. And coming up here after the meeting, we will talk to him in the pre-race here and congratulate him on his Vivid EV Pole Award. So, all right. For those just joining us here this evening on this Tuesday night, appreciate everybody hanging out. Make sure you share the stream out, some friends and family members. Let's build up the stream numbers here. Got a good group of guys here ready to go racing, and I think we're going to see some fun racing here this evening. But let's show you the point standings again for those who have just joined us. Travis Gilbert leads by 3 right now over Joe Wells in the championship. It's those two, the teammates, that have won all the races in the first 3 rounds of this 4-leg series. And basically, you could almost say whoever wins this, or whoever has the best finish between them two, will be the champion likely when it's over with. Overall points, it is Joe Wells leading Gilbert by 45 right now. That's actually, I'm going to do this a little favor here. Let's open this up for you guys to see a little bit better. Quentin Clark third, Shane Ward, Roger Rios, Matias, your top 5 in the point standings. Scott Wise, Daryl Johnson, AJ Condon, Stephen Melnick, and Krishan Elliott there. Your top 10, and then your team points right now. Of course, you got 2 different teams here. Want to separate that out really quickly. G Lightning Motors leads by 92 over High Spirits, and then G Lightning Motorsports, the other team represented there. They are third with Torqued Wrench Motorsports and TNT Motorsports in the top 5. So that is kind of how it all squares out. And then I kind of talked about the schedule here. Let's bring it up again on the screen, because it can be a little confusing. This is different than most leagues that you see on iRacing. Of course, you get the usual, maybe it's a schedule of, you know, so-and-so races, then you get a playoff system, or maybe it's just straight up so-and-so amount of races. But here it's a little different, as you get 4 races and then a break because they switch cars. It's part of the Masters of the Draft Series. This is a lot like Mario Kart, as I've been saying a lot. So you get the Mushroom Cup, if you will, was the truck series, and now you move to the Flower Cup is the second part, and that's where we're at right now at Talladega here tonight. We'll take 2 weeks off, and then we'll come back in the 87 cars for November 12th, 19th, December 3rd, and December 10th, and then an all-star race in the super late model car, and we'll kind of discuss that as we get near, because we've got a pretty good field of cars that have qualified for that race. And then after the new year, we'll come back with the Xfinity cars for 4 races. And then we come back with the Gen 4 cars in February. And hopefully by then, the new Gen 4s will be out ready to rock and roll. And in March and in the final week of April will be the final series, which will be the Gen 6 cars. That'll run the following tracks. All super speedway races. That is why it's called the Master of the Draft. And we'll see who is going to be that come the middle part of next year. And it's all big thanks to our good friends at Vet2Track. Vet2Track helps those veterans who have served this country and help them able to land on their feet and be able to get out there and get on a motorcycle. I know Vet2Track is really helping with some events and stuff coming up in the near future. And that's a big shout out to Vet2Track for allowing these veterans to be able to go out here and do these kind of things. As I'm one of many people that are very thankful for the veterans and what they do for this country. And, you know, anything we can do to help. And a big shout out to Vet2Track, obviously, and their mission to help out veterans on motorcycles. Also a shout out to Vivid EV, who of course sponsors the Pole Award. Vivid EV is an electronic vehicle, primary like golf carts and stuff type of things for outlet and so much more. If you're one that needs an electric vehicle or like to use one, of course, if you're got some kind of situation where if you're a handicap situation or even a veteran that's been injured and need some way of transportation, you can check out Vivid EV and, of course, look at what they have to offer. So those are the main sponsors here in the league tonight. Of course, you got the Wise Guy iRacing graphics stage. We got 3 stages here tonight, and that'll be at lap 19 and 47 in the race this evening. No yellows will get thrown for the stages, but there will be points given away to the drivers in that. As cars, I think, are starting to roll out, as Eddie Rorardi is out there just throwing donuts out there, apparently. So I'm thinking we're into our pre-race portion of the show now here. So let's, I think they're out there just having a good old time right now. Because I'm looking over here in Discord, everybody's in one channel, which usually means that the meeting's going on. So got about 5 minutes to go and warm up. This is something that Lauren and Scott Wise like to do. I know Scott Wise actually put out a statement last week after his race at Atlanta Motor Speedway, apologizing to the crew. He was involved in a few accidents last week, and knowing Scott, he obviously felt very bad about all that, and he's ready to put it all behind him. As we're going to talk to a couple of drivers now, while we got about 3 minutes or so to go here, and everybody wait for it. Hello there, Sir Paint-A-Lot.
Hello there.
Fresh from Vegas, Joe Wells joining us. Joe, obviously, congratulations on the Blaine Sparling, a.k.a. Kevin Harvick throwback that you threw on that 29 car. That was fun to watch, and I know that had to be something that was kind of surreal for you to see on the track this past weekend.
Yeah, man, thank you very much. Yeah, it was a really, really surreal feeling. I definitely had to shed a couple happy tears. Yeah, I mean, it's just a dream of mine come true since a little kid. I've been infatuated with NASCAR, and I've always had a niche for just random paint schemes, even if it's just changing one tiny sponsor. So to be able to kind of position myself where I'm at right now and be able to do something like that with the people that have been in my life to support me and get me to that place, I am forever grateful, and I'm forever part of NASCAR history now.
Absolutely. You've been on a car, which is all cool. It's kind of like where the captain was on a ARCA car last season at Springfield, I think it was.
Oh, really? You got to send me that, man.
Yeah, I got to find a photo. But either way, let's talk tonight, because obviously it's you and Travis battling for the championship, and you guys have been working so well as a team together as you two. So is tonight one of those things where it's like you just kind of see where you are and get to the finish, or is it one of those where it's still team first and however it goes as long as we rack up points for the full championship at the end?
Team first, man. Team first at the end of the day. There's 24 races in this block or in this season. At the end of the day, I know a lot of people may not agree with it. They may want to go for that slingshot. If it gets to that point and Travis and I have that conversation that it's us two at the end, maybe something will happen. But push comes to shove, I'm pushing Travis. He's pushing me. Whoever ends up out front, we're both worked together with each other extremely well, obviously. And like I said, it's a bigger picture. Getting a sub championship is nice. It feels very rewarding and gives you a big confidence boost going into the off weeks. But right now, like I said, it's bigger picture. So really just gonna plan to kind of keep my strategy the same with Travis and the rest of the GLM guys here the past few weeks. Work together and try to stay up front. I did absolutely terrible qualifying, so I need to gain some ground here.
Well, it's the one track that you have not gotten a top 5 in so far here this season, and let's see if you can change that up, buddy.
Yes, sir. I'll see. Hopefully, I'll be talking to you after the race is done.
Hey, that sounds good. Either way, good job, Joe.
Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate his time as always there with the G Lightning team. Let's get the other guy battling for this segment championship or leg or whatever you want to call it championship, and that being the 22 car of Travis Gilbert. As Travis joins us up here, of course, fresh off 2 wins in a row. Just talked to Joe there, Travis, and basically he's talking about the team first mentality, which I know is the same thing you've had going into this. But what we got to do to survive, as basically it's you versus Joe for the championship here on this leg tonight.
Yeah, got to just work together as a team and put ourselves in position. got to watch out for certain individuals who have caused cautions, and including ourselves, not to make mistakes. Got to have the right pitch strategy. With this league, you never know when the cautions are going to come out, and then you got the stages. So you mentioned earlier when you replayed the broadcast from last week that Joe puts himself in the right spot. So that's just what we're going to try to do, is just try to put ourselves in the right spot, work with our teammates, and see what we can get here, Chris.
All right, we got to get Krishan up there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he led some laps last week, and I'm proud of him, and he's come a long ways, and he'll come to understand that building confidence and knowing that you can do it and then doing it lap after lap, he'll just get that mentality eventually, like, I belong here. So proud of him so far.
He needs to put the headphones on that says, I think I can, I think I can, I think I, the whole entire time.
You know what? Henry Ford said it. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. I just believe that I can. That's the difference between me and most.
Oh, that's a good one. I always go with the one my stepmom said, can't, never could do anything. Yeah.
Absolutely, right? My grandpa used to, he literally, the only word that he took out of the dictionary when I was growing up was the word can't, because he did not believe in that word.
Fair enough. Hey, best of luck tonight.
Appreciate you, Chris. Thank you for everything you do for us, man.
Appreciate it, bud. Travis Gilbert, of course, here, second place in the points, or actually leading the points here in this side of things. But, all right, warm-ups finishing up, so let's go ahead and go trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, it's the closest thing I can do to Sweet Home Alabama. As we take a look at the starting lineup here from Talladega Superspeedway, virtually on iRacing. Greg Thompson on the pole. Andrew Moore there on his outside in that High Spirits Racing 77 car. Jason Branch, a good run. Good starting spot for that number 28 car alongside Scott Wise. Travis Gilbert, Derek Jacobs. There in row 3, row 4, Al Likens and Daryl Johnson. James Hudson in row number 5. He'll start alongside Dylan Picklesimmer. AJ Condon, Krishan Elliott there, row number 6. Row 7, Stephen Melnick and Ryan Wilson. Sam Taylor, Dusty White, row 8. Row 9, Shane Ward. And there's Joe Wells, 18th position. Got to stay out of trouble and see how quick he gets to the front. Eddie Rorardi and Pete Polini, good to see him out on track. I know that man's been fighting for a while. And it's good to see Pete out here. And we'll maybe talk about that here in a little bit. Tommy Rogers, Brian Hayes in row 11. Row 12, Tim Shiflett and Jacob Bowen. Stephen Melnick actually missed the start, it looks like here. So he might be starting on pit road. 74 degrees, 85% or 85 degree track temperature, 82% humidity. Under partly cloudy skies. Stages, lap 19 and lap 48 as we go 94 laps. Tradition here at Talladega. At 1 to go, they play Sweet Home Alabama. Kind of a different version of it, but it works. As Thompson and Andrew Moore bring them to the green flag, and who is going to win the championship here in the Event to Track Masters of the Draft Gen 7 Series? We find out now. Our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And a pretty good start so far. As already seeing some 3 wide. That's Daryl Johnson up there on that top side. He's bringing Pickle Simmer in that Ryan Blaney car up front. That's going to kill the middle lane, allow the inside lane to break out front here. As Thompson, with help from Jason Branch, going to lead lap number 1. Obviously, this track a lot wider than Atlanta, so you think with patience here tonight, these guys will probably be able to work, and you'll probably see some pretty clean racing here throughout. Now, that does not eliminate the possibility of a big one. I mean, even though you got 23 cars right now on track, Stephen Melnick still, I don't know if he got lost on his way over here from Georgia or what the deal is. Yeah, middle lane of AJ Condon starting to break out a little bit as the front 4 have separated themselves as these other guys are side by side. As Thompson already leading lap 2. Shane Ward already up 12 positions from the start of the race. He is up to 5th after starting 17th. As Gilbert gets shuffled up the track, Andrew Moore going to fill the middle with his buddy Scott Wise there behind him. 33 Rowaldi down there on the bottom side. He's got the 14 of Krishan Elliott. As I said before, there's plenty of room for cars to move around here. Ooh, 6 almost hooked the 9 there. That's one thing about these cars, the aero. I mean, you lose one little piece of the draft, and it kills the momentum on both the cars, and that's exactly what you saw there as the 9, or the 25, I should say, of Al Likens almost got hooked into the wall there. And hey, I appreciate the viewers hanging out here. We got Yimmy T, interesting name, Thomas Lance. Of course, Bully Dog hanging out, Caleb Fosnot, as he gets ready for tomorrow night in his league race. Make sure you share the stream out to your friends and family, guys. Would love to see the numbers continue to climb up there. As our front 17 cars have pulled away. I noticed Joe Wells had fallen back, and Travis Gilbert has fallen back there too to go grab his teammate, along with Brian Hayes back here with Pete Polini. And then Dusty White, unfortunately, has completely lost the draft, as he is back here in 23rd right now, and he's going to need help from a caution. And is already about 3/4 of a track behind. Likens, who unfortunately missed a race in Atlanta last week, comes back here tonight at Talladega, looking pretty solid here so far in the first 4 laps. You know, all about here being patient. I know, was reading a little bit as you see Krishan Elliott back here in this 14 car. Krishan's had all types of bad luck. And I kind of joked with him today. I said, hey man, you always get the advice of a 2-time iRacing Daytona 500 winner and a 1-time winner in actual, like, sort of this league. It was known as Blown Piston back then, but still, I've won a race in this league on a super speedway. And, you know, it seems like he's just needs that confidence. And I know if I could say right here over the air, what I would tell Krishan is keep yourself for these first 85 laps of the race in a controllable position, because you're in control. There's 23 cars around you that you don't have control of, but you have control of yourself. So put yourself in the safe position of to be able to succeed. Now, where's that always been for me? It's in the back. But that's my prerogative. Others have their prerogative of staying up front or, trying to be aggressive and that kind of thing. But if you keep yourself and control what you do on pit road with pit stops, and when you're out there racing, don't put yourself in bad positions of like 4 wide and stuff and be in the middle of it and battling, then you're going to make it to the finish, and all of a sudden you're going to have a chance to win a race. And so far, 6 laps complete as Lycan's doing a great job there with James Hudson and Daryl Johnson there in that outside lane, as Greg Thompson still trying to push to 77 or more on that bottom lane. You can see how the drafts work around here. You get that bump and the car gets unstable a little bit. Right on board with Thompson there as he gets up there and gives a bump to the Weiss Markets 77 car. You see them already coming up on Dusty White, who's a lap down, or about to be a lap down. Let's check on this second pack of cars back here where Ryan Wilson, Tommy Rogers, these two have kind of broke. I'm sorry, not Tommy Rogers, but Tim Shiflett has broken out in their own little pack here of 2. And I would think eventually they're going to get caught by Pete Polini and these guys that are in their own pack of 5 cars. They'll catch those 2 and become a 7-car pack, and they should be able to work their way back towards the lead of this race. But good to see Pete out here on track. I know he's been battling health issues for years. Unfortunately, some different just health issues that have hurt him. And I know he went out on social media yesterday and talked a little bit about this newest battle he's got on his hands and stuff. And obviously, Pete's a great guy. I've had a chance to get to know him for a couple of years now, and wish him nothing but the best, he and his family and stuff, as they work their way through this battle. But more importantly, good to see him having a good old time, because sometimes this is what you need, just a little recess and a good old time. As James Hudson pushing that 25 car back out to the front as they and Andrew Moore just continue to swap the lead out here early in this race. As you do know, you only got 9 laps to go in this stage, so the racing's really going to pick up here very shortly. The lead pack has about 13 cars in it. And what has been a very tame start after last week's race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Appreciate the viewers hanging out here this evening. Again, a reminder, you can check out, or I should say, let's start with this. You can subscribe to the Captain Esports Network by hitting that subscribe button. And of course, we always appreciate you coming back to hang out with us. But a reminder, you can always help out the American Red Cross with the victims of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton by clicking on the link down below in the race description area of the broadcast, and click the link there and help them out. All the people there in the pretty much the Florida region, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, that have all been affected by these hurricanes the last few weeks. We got those guys continuously in our prayers, especially those heavily affected by both storms. And now starting to see this new storm down in Cuba that's created some issues. So thoughts and prayers to everybody down that way. 7 laps to go, and look at this. Lycan's going to get shuffled, I think, a little bit here as the 6, trying to get a run. But Hudson not able to get there. Wonder if he maybe dragged the brake a little bit there just to get back in line, but I thought he was going to make the move and put Lycans in the middle and decided not to in the end. That Maciak 08 car. And look at that damage already in the nose of the 08 car. That's interesting. And I wonder if that's that. I've heard about a glitch that has been happening with these cars to where you'll be pushing somebody and it's like all of a sudden you hit a brick wall. I wonder if that happened here with the 08 car, but that nose is center punched. That might be one of those things where if you're Greg, you make sure your reset's off because it puts the reset on your car, and then all of a sudden you have no resets to use the rest of the race, and if you really get into an issue, then unfortunately you're out of the race. You saw them get a little out of shape there off of turn 2. I mean, who's going to be the first one to break out of line here? And when? You got to kind of balance it out here a little bit because every point's going to matter. You got all the points that rack up here in this second little leg of 4 races, but then you got the overall points that still have 16 races left after tonight that every point's going to matter in. So do you try to go get stage points here and get yourself in position for that overall championship or as best of a position as possible? Even though you already know deep down inside you might not be in the contention for the leg championship of the next gen car. It's an interesting balance right there. As Lycans moves to the bottom, that's going to give room to James Hudson as he's going to get a chance to lead this race. With help from Daryl Johnson and Sam Taylor. As we have 4 laps to go. Taylor got a real good run on the inside lane as the dueling Chase Elliott paints on the bottom. Go to work. Oh, it almost get turned there. Lycans pushing Taylor, about turned him. That could have been bad. So 3 laps to go here. Got to be very careful when you're pushing these cars into corners because you can obviously get that left front of that car or the right front of that car to get connected with the left or right rear. And all of a sudden you send the guy straight into the outside or inside wall and potentially have a big wreck on your hands. So pushing is at a big risk in this car. But when you make it can work very well. As you see Lycans right back to the front there, pulled up behind Sam Taylor and makes the move as Johnson's going to cut it to the bottom here. Here we go with the first big move, if you will, here with 2 laps to go. He's got to wait for that 9 to get back up here to him. And just to update, Polini and Gilbert and those guys about 5.5 seconds back. And they have caught the Tim Shiflett car. And now they're working on catching Jacob Bowen here eventually and letting him be a part of the pack. And then we'll have 2 straight separate packs in this race as they come to the white flag in what will be stage number 1 this time by. How aggressive will they go to try to get the stage win here? As the 93 of Johnson there in an inside lane. Got the 9 pushing him. The 6 pushing the 25. The 12 back there of Dylan Picklesimmer. The 77 of Andrew Moore inside lane. Good run here on that inside. Here comes Johnson. As they come to the end of stage number 1. And to the line, give it to Daryl Johnson with the stage win. Johnson wins stage number 1, which of course is presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. And your stage winner to the 93. Congratulations to him, and we'll see what goes on now as we get to the end of stage 2, which will be at the halfway point of lap number 47. You see the 25, the 6 up there, top side with the 12, the 14 of Elliott getting himself some bonus points. As you see the separate packs, they work their way through the tri-oval here. As, oh, looks like Polini's going to get shuffled out a little bit. Back there in his second pack, I think Gilbert and Wells decided, hey, we're going to try to lead this pack on, or are they going to try the double file move here? That looked a little discombobulated, unfortunately. They're going to lose some time from that. And Travis obviously is a real good pusher here, and you see in the 23 and the 20 are going to drop down here in line, and they'll get lined up. But these runs in this car are so much different than the Xfinity car and stuff that you see, as you got to literally get up tight to the other car, and you got to push as much as you can and almost bump draft, and you got to have the other car tight on you behind you, almost pushing at the same time, and stay in as much of a straight line as possible, because the draft model of this car is way different. As Likens leads by a half second, or I should say a half tenth. That's no half second. Are you kidding me? What am I doing giving away half second lap times and stuff like that here? Seeing damage on that 93's hood now? No, it's just a Chevy nose. Okay, so the only damage I've seen so far was on the 08 there, as he was pushing earlier in the race. As you see, Wells has got it down to 2.5 seconds now. They're bringing in that lead pack. So Likens has led the most laps here this evening. He's had a lot of help from James Hudson. Daryl Johnson's fallen back into the 3rd spot. Dylan Picklesimmer, who did not race last week in Atlanta, he's been up here in the top 5 most of this race, just hanging out. And we're going to have pit stops coming here the next 5 to 10 laps for these leaders. Dusty White, unfortunately, going to get lapped. I thought I actually had a gearbox cam. That's why I went to the camera. Forgot that I had the spoiler cam there. 21 cars now about to be in this lead pack, and here comes that second pack. They have jumped in here now, and they're going to keep that momentum going. As Wells is going to go to the top, going to bring Gilbert with him. That's the one thing about this car. You get a run, you got to keep it going. You cannot stop. Over 200 miles an hour as Joe Wells through the tri-oval. And straight to the front he goes. That's impressive, actually. 3 cars pretty much did all that by themselves. As AJ Condon in the 5-car join that group and go straight out 1, 2, 3. And they bring Krishan Elliott with them to 4th. These next-gen cars on a super speedway track, I know in real life people have been kind of helter-skelter on them, either like them or they don't, but here on iRacing, they're fun to race. You get out there and you can draft with them and suck up to other cars and make passes. And Gilbert has not left the rear end of that 3-car. And he's got to be careful because he does not want to pop that motor. That's why he backs off of him here, and that should allow the pack to come back up here to him. Ward up there in that top side with help from Eddie Rorardi in the 33 car. Caution free here so far, 27 laps in again. Green flag pit stop's going to be coming up here momentarily. That'll set everybody up to get to the halfway point, which against lap 47 out of 94, the 50% mark. Ride with Pickle Simmer there, 10th position. As up front, AJ Condon getting a turn up front. So for those who have never watched a Captain Esports Network Super Speedway race, there are times I will open myself up a little bit and let you kind of see my way of thinking. As you see, Jacob Bowen has lost a draft here, but I want to take you back to this car right here of Brian Hayes. Brian Hayes is the last car in the pack here running. So, believe it or not, this is my favorite spot to be when it's not the final lap of the race. I always like to be the last car in line in the back. And the reason being is this. Hypothetically speaking, if those guys up front would have wrecked right now, I got nothing behind me. So nobody can arc brake me, right? Or get into the back of me, right? Good. So I know as soon as I see any kind of smoke or any kind of wrecking going on up there, I can brake and not have to worry about anybody running me over. I can see everything in front of me. One of the top things I work, as some of you know, I'm a delivery guy for FedEx. One of the things that we're taught is aim high and steering, which means you want to look 15 seconds out ahead of where you are. You get a lot of people on iRacing that will not look any forward to right here where it says vet the track on their hood. And they get involved in accidents. Right up right here. Look at this. Here we go. Right on cue. Pete Polini goes around and, well, look at there. Case in point as it happens. Caution comes out for the first time. And a tough break for the 51. That hood all smashed in. As Jacob Bowen, I think, was coming to pit road. I'm getting blamed for. Hey, I was just explaining my theory here. Oh, is that Branch I got hooked? That was a lick. Oh, he gets hooked by Taylor. Oh, that's a hit. And then, yeah, Branch gets sideswiped. Pete, unfortunately, he's got a destroyed race car, but the positive news here is this is a sim, so you don't have to worry about it hurting too badly. Let's take a look at this from Pete's view. I mean, it just looks like it hurt. All right, pit stops. Here we go. Should be 4 tires and fuel, I would think, for everybody here. As Eddie, we're already going to win the race off pit road. Krishan Elliott second, Shane Ward third. And the 33 getting out there up front early. Let's see. There he is. Let's talk to Daryl Johnson here, who won the stage, who got the stage 1 win here. Has looked pretty good in that 93 car. Daryl, you got a copy?
Yeah, doing good there, buddy. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, my friend. Hey, obviously looking pretty good out there tonight, man. You had a great run at Atlanta last week. Of course, we saw that in the broadcast last night. But here tonight, you've been up front, went out there, snagged yourself a stage win, and got the bonus points you needed. How do we make that happen coming up here at lap 94?
Well, it's all about the teamwork. That's what's
Right.
done it so far. Is all of my team there, Al, Sam, and Dylan. We've been working kind of get together, and James is a part-time teammate there that's been just helping, and just trying to stay out front, and be smart, and trying not to get caught up in anything. You know how fast these things happen here, so just trying to be smart about it.
It looks like everybody's being kind of smart. It's been kind of tame a little bit out there tonight. A lot of people, yeah, you're seeing the passes, but everybody's kind of staying in line and just kind of riding with each other and that kind of thing. Talk about that a little bit, and when do we think it's going to ramp up? Because even at the end of that first stage, it was like not the most wildest thing in the world, which is okay, but it's different.
It's definitely going to start picking up any minute. I noticed that the G Lightning guys went up on the high side there and went out into the lead right there before we were getting ready to pit stop. So it's coming. Just at what point, I'm not sure. I think we'll get through stage 2 here and then probably ride for a little while. And then 10 to go. It's going to be pure madness, is my guess. So
That sounds about right. So, well, hey,
yeah.
best of luck in that 93 car, and I agree 100% with everything on your car.
Hey, brother. Yeah,
I just can't say it out loud.
if I got a second,
Go
my
ahead.
mom is fighting lung cancer, and that's the reason for the car. So, this is her second time actually having lung cancer, and that's the reason why I had Joe paint this car for me, and she's actually in the hospital tonight. So, if you, just for any of the fans out there got a time for a little prayer, I'll take one.
Absolutely, we'll add it to the list, and we'll take care of you. All the best for Mom. May I ask her name?
It's Anna.
Anna. We'll take care of Anna. there.
Ina.
Ina.
Yep.
I'm sorry, Ina.
Yep.
We'll take care of Ina. Best of wishes to you and the family there, and obviously from somebody who's lost a parent to cancer herself, we wish you nothing but the best. And obviously we'll keep positive with that, and let's go win Mama a race tonight.
Heck yeah, brother.
Absolutely. Daryl Johnson was leading, won the stage. He's 6th right now, as we appreciate his time and appreciate his words there. Now I got to figure out where the heck to put them.
TNT, brother. TNT.
Oh, dynamite. All right. Let's get him to TNT down there. As he's got Pickle Simmer, James Hunt's got a whole bunch of guys down here. Yep. I can't say exactly what's on his car because, well, you know. But, I can say the lung cancer awareness part, but the other part I can't say in the back of his car still. But all the best to Ina. Mama Johnson there, all the best. And all the best to all those out there fighting it. And it is ridiculous, put it like that. Hey, look at this. Krishan Elliott leading this race as we come to the green. Eddie Rorardi's going to be the control car. Elliott second, Ward third, Likens, Daryl Johnson coming to the green. And why don't we turn it up here a little bit? Get those speakers. Max it out. Let's go. Be clean restart. Right back to where it's been. Al Likens out front. James Hudson there pushing him. You see Johnson, Sam Taylor, Eddie Rorardi, your top five. This TNT group has been doing all these laps pretty much here tonight. I know you saw a couple of the GLM guys get up there in the front and lead there for a short time before the caution. But these guys doing a pretty good job here so far this evening. As we got 10 laps to go next time by, and this stage is there. Got a car coming up the middle there, that 20 car, who we haven't really talked about tonight, Brian Hayes. Oh, and here they go wrecking. 33 goes around. There goes Hayes, the 9 to 23, and then Krishan gets clipped. And caution right back out for the second time. I looked up and I saw the side of the 33 car, which is never a good thing. Let's roll that beautiful beam footage and see what happened. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see how that kind of transpired. It looks like just kind of a bad bump, bad position. Nice job by the 22 to miss that. This is a tough spot here because let me hit stop here really quickly. Let's go to crash cam here to the. I want to watch the 9 of Taylor here because he kind of gets a, or even a 12, I should say, of Pickle Simmer here. Kind of is in a bad position here. He's right here behind you. Go get the 20. He's going to get a pretty good run. They get the momentum here, and you see that little checkup right there. That little checkup right here that happens. The 9 gets checked up, 12 gets checked up, and you get these cars behind it don't get checked up. And the 20 is going to get in the back of the 12, and pretty much the 12 has to react to say, okay, I'm not going to run the 9 over and wreck him. So he's getting out of the gas right here, trying to stay off of him. And it actually does make contact with the 9. It looks like, slightly netcoatish. And that's where that contact happens. And 20 right into it. Oh, Gilbert does get damaged there in the nose of the 22. So this ends up being a lot bigger of a wreck than it could have been. As the majority of the leaders all coming to pit road here. We'll come back to the replay because that one view I think I want to show you here that I just saw. Lycan stays out. James Hudson and others come off of pit road. I think some people take an opportunity just to get the cosmetic damage fixed so they don't have to use the reset here, which is always a pretty smart move. Well, let's go on board with who I believe is going to be the lucky dog here. And might be back on the lead lap. We'll have to see. That's Dusty White here. As everybody goes wrecking. Unless he hit the car right there, I think that was Bowen. If he hit Bowen in the rear, then he's not going to get the lucky dog. But if he was able to work his way through that, then he should get the lucky dog here. Because the way it works on iRacing, as long as you're not damaged in the wreck or come down to too slow of a speed. Let's watch the 11 here. Oh, yeah, he made contact, so that would do him right there. So, unfortunately, no lucky dog for him, but he does make it through. Hey, want to take an opportunity, if you haven't had the opportunity to go check out the Captain Esports Network store, you can do so in the race information page down below of the screen you are currently watching right now. If you click the drop down area there, you'll see a whole bunch of race information and so much more, and a couple of links to different websites, and one of them is the Captain Esports Network store. You can check out t-shirts and jackets and so much more. Help support the Captain Esports Network out there wherever you may be. Plenty of t-shirts I've been seeing. I've seen not shot glasses, but alcohol glasses and coffee cups, and I've seen a couple of hats out there. So appreciate all those who have been helping out the Captain Esports Network, and you can do the same. And if you'd like a link sent to you, I can send it to you manually too. Just trying to make it easy. Just saying that Lauren could buy Scott a captain shirt. Scott could buy Lauren a captain shirt. Just throwing it out there. I know they're listening. I mean, let's face it, they're always listening to me. Probably on their big screen TV. Everybody in chat, say hi, Lauren. She's the boss of the league, pretty much. She's the one that's keeping the admins, keeping everybody in check, making sure everybody behaves. Nobody calls each other names, and so much more. All right, pace car going to pull off. With 7 laps to go here before halfway, let's hope that cautions don't breed cautions. As Al Likens in that 25 car leading the 6 to the green. Remember, you cannot switch. Oh, Hudson thought about it. Can't switch lanes until you restart the race. And cross the start-finish line. And look at that 31 car starting to sneak up into the picture. Scott Wise. Andrew Moore. As front 3 go single file and already seeing them group up 2 by 2. Jacob's going to give Wise a pretty good bump right there. Got to be careful. Don't push the pusher. Got to be well alert. Nice job by Shiflett to understand that he had a car in front of him. Because it's very hard to see behind these other cars. When you're pushing in this next-gen car, you cannot see what's going on in front of him. So he's almost got to tell you, hey, I'm here. Or something to get you off of him, or else he could be going for a ride. Six laps to go. Shiflett getting out of shape a little bit there. There's the 3 back there of Joe Wells. Looking for the 22, and, well, there he is behind Veraldi in the outside lane. There's that line starting to line up here on the outside. I say that as the 3 cars on the bottom lane kind of take over the lead themselves here. Whoa, whoa, hold on back there. I think that was Shiflett that got loose. Scar's still scrambling around. Great save from everybody there. As we got, we can do the math here, 5 laps to go. And appreciate everybody hanging out here on the Captain eSports Network. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have, as always, thank you for coming back. Share the stream out with your friends and family who might be watching here tonight or might enjoy this kind of racing and stuff, looking for something to do on a Tuesday evening. It's been the last couple weeks now, Monday through Thursday nights of iRacing broadcast. And more of the same tomorrow night as we'll do a doubleheader from Indianapolis, starting there, and then New Hampshire Motor Speedway following that. As here comes that G Lightning team on the outside lane. Ooh, 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 they're pushing each other into the wall. They're pushing so hard. Gilbert gives the bump to Joe Wells. There's the 30. Giving a bump to Scott Wise on the bottom side. As the 22 pushing the 3 out ahead. With 3 laps to go. As neither of those two, I believe, scored stage points last stage. So they still pretty much sit within a couple points of each other right now. Ryan Wilson there in that 3rd position. And of course, you got the 30 of Derek Jacobs down that bottom side trying to get Scott Wise to push. Wilson going to drop down and take the inside lane from Scott. Big check up there on that bottom side that caused that. Uh-oh, there they go. Into the wall goes Bowen. Everybody staying straight, though. We stay green. Bowen looks, oh, we got one car. Oh, and the 12 just clipped the 69. Looks like the 33 might have a broken toe link, and so does Bowen, I believe. And I think the 12's going to have some heavy damage now after that contact. Everybody spreads out now, and they're going to be coming to the final lap here of stage 2. Right, trying to figure out who to go with here. Oh, Krishan shuts the door on Taylor. Taylor side drafts him back a little bit there. It's going to kill that momentum. As here comes the 3 and 22 to the inside lane. Lycan's going to go down the block. Kind of a tricky move right here, but if you're Lycan, you almost want to kind of let up a little bit and trail break so that it's between you and the 6 to try to win this, but he gives room, and here comes Wells to the outside, trying to get the stage win, and he does. Joe Wells wins stage 2. So Joe Wells, stage 2 winner, presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. Oh, easy, boys. Now everybody can take a deep breath as you got 46 laps to go. Still got at least one more pit stop. And you got the field kind of split up now after the almost wreck that happened. And you got pretty much two teams against each other here. G Lightning versus the TNT guys. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the advice out there, because Brian Hayes and these guys back here in the second pack have formed up. Sort of. And they're getting lined up, and if these guys get going, they can get lined up and go. They'll catch this front pack. I think this case here is where the front pack needs to get lined up. And trying to settle out amongst those 10 guys here for the most part. But then, of course, you're going to have the pit stops coming up. And that could shrink this field even more when it comes to who's battling where for the lead. AJ Condon and these guys have got some work to do here, as they've lost the pack here of these 4 cars that pretty much drafted right on by them. And they are moving. They're getting it. Thompson doing a great job pushing that 77 car. They were the 4 fastest cars out there last time by. 49 07s to 11s pretty much the whole entire time. Meanwhile, the third pack now just can't get organized. This is one of those, they're going to keep trying to make moves. I don't understand that, to be honest with you. All they have to do is stay in line, and they're safe. They can get up there and work with these guys, but they are just falling back. 11 seconds now from the lead. Right here, Pickle Simmer just needs to push to 20. They need to get organized, but you see it looks like they're still back here racing each other, per se. This is where DW brought up that word that a lot of people doesn't want to put in their vocabulary, but it makes sense. Coopetition. You guys are racing each other, but right now you got to cooperate with each other. I mean, everybody there, 49 seconds, the front 13 positions. And in this pack here, 51 14s. Lost 2 seconds that lap. Interesting. Here's what the guys are running the middle lane. Usually it's top or bottom with this next-gen car, but Wells has got him right here stuck in the middle with you. Want to throw some shout-outs out real quick. 40 Racewear, of course, with Jim Herrick doing a great job of taking care of people as he always likes to do here on iRacing. If you're a fan of shoes and gloves and shirts and so much more, you want to have a more comfortable experience on iRacing or whatever sim you like to play, you can check out 40racewear.com. I know the captain sent you there. Also, I saw a sign set up here a little bit ago. MC Racing there downtown Fort Wayne. Matter of fact, Rashawn's right down the road from there. As Mark does a great job there allowing people to come in and sit down and go racing on an iRacing simulator or whatever sim they choose, pretty much. They can sit down there and run some laps and have a good old time on a pretty top-notch simulator at MC Racing there downtown Fort Wayne. If you're ever nearby or driving past, just stop on in there and you can enjoy yourself. And this is that perfect chance to like bring a family member or a friend that's never done this before and let them enjoy it. Let them figure it out. Big shout out to Mark, who's got us on the TVs normally there in the shop. There's a restaurant, like right next door, pretty much. You can go right over and eat too. Perfect. It's like the perfect center. All right, let's show you the packs here on the map. Where everybody is right now, as you see Joe Wells and the front 8 cars here are coming into the tri-oval right now. And then you got the pack back here with Sam Taylor. And Sam's got the lab car of Eddie Rorardi in the 22nd position. Those two pushing each other. And then Andrew Moore. Those guys are going to get a good draft off of Rorardi and stuff. And this will help them be a little faster here. And we'll see if they decide to take the run or if they just slide in behind these two. But obviously, they are sitting somewhere about 5 or so seconds back from the lead pack right now. And then Brian Hayes and these guys, I think, have gotten themselves organized. They're still not as fast as the leaders, but they at least have minimized the amount of time they're losing to the lead right now. Again, once this race is over tonight, 2 weeks off, we'll come back on November 12th with the 87 cars. And if you've never seen the 87 cars or never heard of them on iRacing, it's exactly what you think it is. It's the old Buicks and Pontiacs. And now, caution! Brian Hayes, that third pack is finally combusted, it looks like. And caution is out for the third time. And unfortunately, that third pack just could not play together, it looks like. Uh-oh, I'm sensing a bump gone bad right there. Yep. Boom, into the wall he goes. It unfortunately clobbers the 30 car. And Jacobs unfortunately has got a tow to the pits here, but third caution is out. Just shy of 100 miles to go here. But I was just talking about this. You get to that right rear and you got to be very careful not to hook them. And that's exactly right there. So now the question comes down to what do we do here? Because I'm thinking everybody's coming to pit road. Probably going to see tires and fuel. So here we go, leaders in. Got to be very careful coming to your pit stop here because you got to remember you do not have a spotter on pit road. That's why most leagues will try to tell their people, hey, stay to the right as much as you can. And it looks like fuel only for a lot of cars as Johnson, Hudson, Wilson. Those three, at least fuel only, if not 2 tires. Gilbert and those guys with 4 tires going to come out in the 4th position here. So appreciate everybody joining us here tonight for the Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series. Oh, so Lauren has messaged me, and yes, they are listening on the big screen in the corner of the office. And she's not feeling good tonight, so let's all wish Lauren, let's get her to feel better a little bit there. So, I don't know, maybe some karaoke. I mean, what do I gotta do? Start singing or something? Wait, never mind. I got a 5-year-old that doesn't like my singing, so at least she always yells at me, "Stop singing!" Probably a good idea. But want to send a shout out to Vet to Track, of course. They are the title sponsor and the Victory Lane sponsor for this series here, Vet to Track, and their mission to help veterans find an outlet through motorcycle racing and riding on a specialized track. That is part of their mission. If you ever have any questions, Travis Gilbert here in the league is the person you want to reach out to. He will give you all the information you need and stuff to make sure you have to basically take care of the situation you'd like. If you want to help a veteran out or something like that, make sure you reach out to Travis and Vet the Track. Because look at this. This is not Groundhog Day. Everybody's back on pit road to top off the tanks here. Trying to make it the rest of the way. I want to also shout out Superior Templating. They're the sponsor of the Hard Charger Award, and right now the Hard Charger in this race, there's a tie, but tiebreaker would go to the higher finishing guy. So Tommy Rogers in the 2nd position right now would be the Hard Charger, presented by Superior Templating. But the good news is we got 35 laps to go, so there's still plenty of time for that to change up here. Pace car gonna bring him through turn 3 and 4 here. And because basically everybody had a pit violation in the end there. When I know in real life now it's when they do the choose cone. If you pit at 1 to go, you pretty much go single file, and that's the penalty. Well, if you look here, you see the 4 rows, double file, everybody else single file coming to the green here. As green comes out, Ryan Wilson, Tim Shiflett, your front row, and Wilson, out there a little too far. As Tommy Rogers going to bring that high line with Andrew Moore, but Low line looks pretty organized right now. And watch how quick this pack gets to Ryan, because Ryan's out here by himself and they're just drafting right up to him. Shiflett's going to pick up the 23 as they get the ball rolling here. 34 laps to go. You see the 9 back there in the background, Sam Taylor through the mirror. With help from Dylan Picklesimmer in the 12 car. Let's got that nose damage all fixed up, as they're going to tandem their way right to the front and lead that lap as Taylor does. Oh, some contact in the back. The 6 getting turned. And he is still doing a 4-wheel slide. And saves it. A great save from James Hudson. As we stay green, but Hudson's going to lose the pack, unfortunately, here, it looks like. Now this is again, everybody's got to go single file to trying to catch up. Let's see what happened to Hudson to make that situation go astray. Triangle gives a push to the 93 there of Johnson. Oh, and they get a really big run there. And good job by Andrew Moore to play avoidance there, but then the 34 comes up into him. But a big break there for Andrew Moore, who saw those cars coming and pretty much got hip checked up out of the groove. But so now these guys are running, but then you've got these guys are really coming back. As Thompson pushing Scott Wise. I'm seeing real quickly that Greg Thompson might be one of the better pushers in this series. He and I would say Travis Gilbert, really impressive with both of their pushing skills in this series. Look how much time they have made up, and they're right back up here already. They're going to pick up Lycan and Joe Wells here. And that's exactly how you do it right there. You get a couple cars to the outside trying to pass. And if they can get the momentum clear and then get about the 4th or 5th car to just hook on to that other pack and let them start pushing, so that once you get clear, hopefully everybody's single file. It's pretty close to it. But the good news is Scott Wise has got a good enough run to where he should be able to hook on to Condon there. But how about Kershawn Elliott, fastest lap of the race right there, a 48.39 around this 2.66 mile track. And that's because he's the last car in line. That's how that works. Ooh. Late block there by Taylor. That almost got bad. These guys, oh! Boys! Some of these cars don't have resets left. They do know. Lauren Lem, no, there's still 29 laps to go. Simmer down. Still 75 miles left. And look at, here comes The 28 up top, Jason Branch. Oh, Thompson up and in. Uh-oh, big wreck. Pickle Simmer gets damage. Don't see too many cars with damage. Maybe it looks like Elliott left front there damaged. I know Scott Wise picked up some damage. That escalated quickly. Was 23 pushing the 08? He had to have given him a bump there or something to push him up the track. Travis Gilbert gets some damage. Oh. Broad, he's got the angry nose. We're going to get the yapping nose again here. That we saw a couple nights ago here. His nose is in place still, so I want to get a better view. Hit the old stop button before we get turn one here, and I want to get the 23's view here of Ryan Wilson, because it just seems like he gets close to Scott here into the 9, but then right. The 08 just went up the track. Just looked weird. Huh. Alrighty then. Well, everybody's on pit road again for the money stop. And Al Iken's going to win the race on pit road. Johnson second, Gilbert, Branch, and Wells, your top 5. See some cars with the damage out there on the track. Let's talk with another driver. And tonight, one of those nights, it's maybe a little bit different here. And I want to talk to Dusty White in that 11 car. Is Dusty, you got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I'm here with you.
Hi, man. Well, obviously tonight you started as the what I call, from my previous experiences of going to Daytona and watching ARCA racing and stuff, the ha-ha car. As you were the car that the field would yell ha-ha to as you were by yourself out there a little bit. Got lapped a couple times, but you worked your way back, and you've gotten your laps back, and here you are now in the 9th position. Talk about the battle back and the chance to win here.
Well, early on, I got lapped, and I wasn't able to attach to anybody because I had to do the drive-through penalty or whatever. And then, yeah, so after that, I got lapped again, but I just kind of hung with it and hung in there and was able to get a caution, got 1 lap back, and I did touch a car on a caution, which made me lose the lucky dog, so I had to end up having to fight through that too, but somehow managed to make it back up here.
All right, so the more important question here, what did you do to make Lauren mad?
I don't know. I'm still kind of wondering the same thing. Maybe somebody will let me know after the race.
Sometimes what's better left unsaid is the best answer to that question there. So, well, hey, man, best of luck. I see you got the breast cancer awareness car there, and good to see you out there. Cool looking pink car, and go put that thing in victory lane.
Appreciate you.
As Dusty White started with a penalty here, apparently. And Has worked his way back up to the 9th position here and a chance to win this race. Yeah, that's a true story, by the way. Any of those years I went to Daytona before they repaved it, I went all the way up to 2010 before I moved. And every time I went in the ARCA race, there was always that one car that was running on like 6 cylinders or 7 cylinders and could not run in the draft if it tried. But yet, from all the wrecks every year, he would finish like 10th or 9th, whoever it was. And it was just like, we would all sit there like, it got to the point we would almost cheer the guy on as he would go by. And like, you know, make a lot of noise for him as the pack's like on the other side of the track. But yet, so, you know, they'd wreck like lunatics, and all of a sudden there he is, running 10th, and finishing the race with 6 cylinders. I've heard some interesting ARCA stories in my time here streaming from people. But speaking of ARCA, you can actually get an ARCA Break t-shirt on the Captain eSports store. Make sure you check that out. Click the link down in the race information page, but the old ARCA The Best in Breaks t-shirt. You gonna put Nelson on the car? Is that Nelson? That's the guy's name, right, for The Simpsons? I used to be able to do his laugh. Something like that. My voice has changed a little bit in my day. I've gotten older. Can't do the voices anymore. Other than that, Hank Hill guy, I guess I could do. Green flag back out. Al Likens leads. Travis Gilbert gets a good start on the inside lane as I think Johnson might got caught sleeping a little bit. You know, plus I got a wife and a little one that's laying down in another room. Oh, Joe gets in the 93 and hooks him. And I wreck it again. Caution out again. Cautions. Breed cautions. And we had the perfect view of that. The rear decklet of the 22 car as you watch as Joe gets a good run here on the 93, and I think he just gets such a good run that he kind of gets into a little spot there. And well, you know what? I saw Elliott get kind of and you know what? There's a part of me that wants to laugh right now seeing this. I see some of the cars involved, but Joe Wells might have just had the funniest reaction to a wreck I have ever seen in my life. So, how many times have you seen somebody in a race get like cussed out because they just stomp on the brakes and get ran over from behind, and the guy behind him's like, "Why did you hit the brakes so hard?" Let's go aboard with Joe Wells here and watch how this, watch what he does. Gets back here on the 93. He's going to get a good run here. Little checkup. Gets to his inside here. He's going to clip him and pull the e-brake. For those who have never watched racing before, they do not have e-brakes in this car. So, obviously, I made that part up. All right, 23 laps to go, and cars on pit road again, getting damage fixed. All right, let's talk to a another driver we haven't had a chance to talk with here. How about R&R Racing's Ryan Wilson? Yes. He's talking, per usual, running in the second position. I always catch people in conversations. Nothing wrong with that. But Ryan, obviously, P2 right now, looking pretty solid in that 23 car.
Yes, sir. Just trying to hang her in there with these guys. They teach me a few new tricks.
Care to share any of these few tricks? I mean, it's probably nothing I never heard before.
Well, you probably knew it. I'm kind of a noob to this, but you know, staying connected on these bumpers and just trying to hold it as steady as possible, and then maybe breaking a little bit of connection going into the corners, just because I'm not as stable as some of these guys. But you know, it's definitely an art form to this type of racing, and boy, it was out of the frying pan and into the fire when I joined this league.
Well, if we could put the school in session here really quickly with the captain, it doesn't matter how you do it. You got 23 laps. You got to get 22 of those laps. And then on that final lap, that's when you worry about the whole connecting and unconnecting and pushing and non-pushing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get to that lap first.
Yeah, and that's quite the task sometimes.
So, but no, it looks like you're doing a good job. I mean, obviously, it's tough with this car because yes, you can get a great run with the tandeming and stuff. It's just a matter of timing out the runs and putting yourself in the right position right now, and you've done a good job of that.
Well, I appreciate it. I heard last week you kind of like my checkup sticker on the trunk.
Well, it's different because I got the Alt F4 blinker fluid and the Arca brake T-shirt that I have in the store, and then I noticed you had your sticker here in the rear end. And I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting looking.
Yeah, I found that in the trading paints, and I thought, man, sometimes we got a little bit of excitement when, you know, sometimes you might not want to check up, but I'm hoping that sticker back there reminds people, you know, hey, we got a whole race, we can do it.
Well, do you see who's in your mirror right now?
Yeah.
That sticker might mean absolutely zilch right now.
Well, I love old Scott. I hope he'll hook up with me and give me a little shove.
Hey, just look straight. Anytime, that's the one piece of advice I can't give you. If you got somebody pushing you, you watch that yellow line, you stay on it. Don't even look behind you.
Turn the mirror off.
Pretty much. Hey, best of luck, bud.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Ryan Wilson doing a good job in the R&R racing car. Scott's cussing me out right now, probably in the house. And Scott's doing a good job in the fourth position. There it is, where it says check up. I forget what the bottom part of that car says, but it's check up like brake fluid or something like that is on the back of the 23 car. Scott, get up there in the rear end of that car for a second. There you go. Brake inspection services. Thanks, Scott. All right, coming to the green. All right, get back to within a tenth of a second, like Lauren says. Al Likens, Ryan Wilson, Sam Taylor, Scott Wise, Travis Gilbert, your top five. And 21 laps to go, and I think we forgot to tell Ryan to put it in second gear as they take off. Well, not a bad restart now for Ryan. He's going to get a super run off the back end or the front end of Scott Wise. That's part of the reason right there. You do not want to get too good of a restart. Look at the run he got and shoots out to the outside lane to the lead. He's got Wise there pushing, Joe Wells, Tommy Rogers there in the 34, the 25 of Al Likens down there in that bottom lane as Rogers shuts the door there and leaves Tim Shiflett up top. Remember, we talked to the 93 car, Daryl Johnson, earlier. Said 10 laps to go, but unfortunately, I think it might be 10 laps too early here because 20 to go. We're already looking 2 and 3 wide here. Oh, how about 4 wide? And you saw how that just killed the momentum of everybody there. That front couple of rows just took off. The side draft is real in this car. As Jason Branch in that 28 car getting pushed from Thompson, Scott Wise up there, Andrew Moore. That's a pretty good pack of 4 cars right there. Dylan Pickle-Simmer there behind him, and there's Dusty White. We spoke with him before the last caution, that 11 car. He's doing a good job here so far, and that top 6 now have separated out. Now Pickle-Simmer is going to jump up top. And that's going to help bring that second pack back in as Dusty shut the door on the 54. And they almost wrecked. The way these guys are closing the door on each other, what spotters? We don't need those spotters. So 18 laps before we crown ourselves a champion in the second leg here of 6 in the Masters of the Draft Series presented by Vet to Track. Again, 24 overall races, but 6 series of 4 races in different cars. Trucks ran 4 races earlier this season. This is the 4th race tonight in the next gen car. Of course, Joe Wells won the truck championship and now looking to win the next gen championship. And that pretty much going to come down to where Travis Gilbert finishes along with Joe Wells. It's those two fighting out for it. And of course, the overall championship that'll be crowned in April. We crowned the master of the draft. As look at this, the front 5 cars, front 4 cars are gone. And that is because you got 6th, 7th, 8th, all these guys battling 2 and 3 wide. And it has allowed this single file pack to just drive away. And it looks like Joe Wells finally going to clear. As all of a sudden now, here comes your pack of GLM cars that has separated themselves and gone single file. That pack separating now 3 seconds almost. Problem is now here comes Likens. He's getting a push from the 93, and that's just going to slow down the pack because everybody's side drafting off another. And look, Branch and them just continuing to get away. Looking back for more. Hey, you guys are leading and you're pulling away. $48.73 last time by for those leaders. I mean, they're running nearly 200 miles an hour the whole entire time in that pack. You know, this is one of those where you're in the second pack here. You got to kind of take the pride out for a second. Yeah, it's always cool to be that lead car or that second car leading. But sometimes you just got to suck it up and get in the line and just push. And that's what it looks like a lot of these cars have done here. We'll start comparing some lap times here as they go and get up to speed here. leader's got a 5-second gap now over this pack with 14 laps to go. Oh. And there it goes. Joel's into the wall. The 12 gets turned. Both the championship leaders in the wall. And that came from a simple checkup. And that started right at the front. Watch how they get checked up ahead here. The 93, the 12, the 3, the 22, and they check up a second time. And in case I haven't taught you this yet, in racing it's the rule of 5. When you get a checkup, usually the 4th or 5th car ends up wrecked. And the 4th and 5th car in this pack, let's look at the 3 and 22 here. Obviously, check up there, there's 2 cars, and there's the 4th car gets turned, and there's the 5th car going around. Let's get one more view of this. Pretty much everybody in that pack. I think Krishan Elliott actually got through it. And if that's the case, ooh, T-bone steak for you. If that's the case, then the 14 likely is going to get the lucky dog here and go back on the lead lap and have a chance to win this thing. I wouldn't call it too much teamwork there as much as, even though it's a great point, Yimmy, I would say that's just a factor of this type of racing, because you get, let me show it here one more time, because it's very weird here, because I thought at first it was simply the front car checking up, but it looks like it's actually the second car that gets out of shape here. Where's the 93 at? He hit the breaker right there. So the 93 is right on the back bumper of the 25. And he's going to get out of the gas because he's kind of off center here real quickly. And what that does is it gets him out of shape because the 12 is still pushing. Remember, 12 can't see the 25. So right here, he's off center, so he gets out of the gas. Well, the 12's still pushing. So it squirts him out of line. Now you've really got to check up if you're the 12, or else you're going to hook the 93. And then the 3's trying to check up, and then the 22's trying to check up, and, well, there you go. That's just a product of this racing, what that is. But here, I'll show it one more time here, and we'll ride on board with the 12. And my point to this, let's go to camera right here. You cannot see the car in front. So you're literally pushing and pushing. And, okay, you get a view of the rights, but by then it's almost too late. Oh, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I don't know how you prevent that. I mean, off the top of my head right there, it's... I mean, you could argue that the 12 could have seen the right side of the 25 when the 93 went to the inside. But if he checks up, he gets run over by the 3. So it's a bad spot. I guess maybe the only thing that could have went different there is just maybe more knowledge of pushing. I don't know. I mean, you can't expect these guys to be, Cup Series guys. All right, going to come to the green with 10 laps to go. As Jason Branch and Greg Thompson on the front row now. Scott Wise, Andrew Moore, and Al Likens. Your top 5, you still got 18 cars on the lead lap. Rashawn Elliott did get the lucky dog, and Jason Branch out too far. This is going to cause a pretty good checkup here. Scott Wise is already ready for it. They go to the middle line. This is going to check up. Great job by everybody there. That could have been real bad. As they come to 9 laps to go. Branch trying to get himself a win. Greg Thompson trying to get himself a win. Scott Wise won a race last segment in the 4 races in the trucks, trying to get himself a win here tonight. Andrew Moore trying to get his first win this season. And you got to look for the teams to start getting together here. As Branch brings him off turn 4 with Thompson pushing. And 8 laps to go. Al Likens fastest lap that time by with a 48.09. Top 10 cars have broken away. And then here's your trio of GLM cars. As they trying to catch up, Brian Hayes is just trying to hold on. And then you got this crew of 4 cars, and unfortunately, and you see the damage on the 12 car. That's probably killing that pack. As here comes the 93 of Darrell Johnson up to the 4th position as they pull Andrew Moore back. As these guys trying to side draft their way up to the front. How about the 39 of Shane Ward? He cuts down in front of Moore and helps him out. Things are getting interesting here as we come to 6 to go this time by. Shane Ward trying to push along. And Joe Wells and those guys are, unfortunately, they're falling back. So it's literally going to be 9 cars, it looks like, racing for the win here, potentially. I'm going to say the rest of the field is going to be like, hey, can we run Talladega every week? It seems like the GLM guys struggle at the end. Five to go. I mean, Likens is trying to push Johnson all he can. He can get help from AJ Condon there behind them. They could get up here and separate these 4 that just continue to be fast on the bottom lane. Four to go. Can he make it back to the white flag here in 3 laps? I mean, Thompson literally tandem pushing that 28 now. That might not be a good thing here. Oh, and a block, and Thompson's getting turned. Way late on the block. And caution. And we are going to overtime. I mean, it's a tough one to call, but I think in that situation, you got to just kind of stay in your lane there and let the run come, because you've killed your momentum with the tandem push. But again, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking right now here in the booth as a tough situation there as caution waves. And we are going to get overtime here with Jason Branch leading. Everybody should be good to go on fuel to the finish here. So again, after this race, we'll have 2 weeks off, and then we'll return with the 87 cars. As we continue this Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing, and what has been a lot of fun here so far in these first 8. You can only imagine how the next 16 are going to go, as we got an all-star race in there too with a super late model car. We got Xfinity cars, the Gen 4s, the Gen 6s, of course the 87s as mentioned. Thank goodness Luke Daniels isn't here, or else he'd probably be mentioning the IR18s. That caution there, definitely a big break for those GLM cars that had lost the draft. And now they're going to restart with Wells in 8th, Krishan Elliott 9th, and Travis Gilbert 10th. Here we go, 1 to go this time by. Appreciate everybody who's hung out with us here this evening. You can hit that like button and that subscribe button if you're new to the chat. If you're not new, we appreciate you coming back as always and hanging out with us. We'll have another stream for you tomorrow night. Actually, a doubleheader likely, as long as things go smooth for me, unlike today. But it was a fun day, though, by the way. Just unfortunate circumstances happened. I wasn't able to do a doubleheader today, so we'll do it tomorrow. So who's it going to be? Will it be Branch? Will it be Likens? Will it be AJ Condon? Or how about that 6 car that's been up front most of this race of James Hudson at the TNT team? Will it be GLM guys coming from behind? Will it be somebody random? There are 17 cars on the lead lap, and once they get the white flag, that is 17 cars with a chance to win this race. As Branch launches out, green flag, here we go. Branch with a lot better of a restart. I thought he still got out too far, but it looked like he trailed back to the 28 or the 25 and picked them up. As Likens fires to the bottom. Branch might get himself stuck in the sucker old block there on the 39. They got to check up there in the top lane. Oh, contact up front. Leaders, I reckon. As Krishan Elliott, Al Likens, Branch involved. And we'll try it again. See where this starts out. Contact between the 39 and 25. Wells with a great job to miss that. So did Gilbert. A lot of cars damaged up in this one. Looks like I gotta get all fixed up here for the end of this race. Ryan Wilson almost got through it. On board with Tommy Rogers here. Wow. Great job. First I thought he was going to power right in there. Well, look at the situation now. Is Joe Wells going to officially be the leader? I don't think there's a single car out here that's not damaged now. We're going to come to the green this time by the second of the two green-white checkers in this race. Appreciate the viewers for hanging out. This has been a wild one. To cap off the next-gen series of these Masters of the Draft Series, of course, presented by Bet the Track. As we got 15 now cars going to be on the lead lap to start this thing, and as they always say, if you're in it, you can win it. Of course, coming up, we'll talk to the top 3 finishers, and we'll talk to the champion of this leg. And who knows what else. As the top 2 in the point standings in this series, of course, overall and in this leg, is right there in the outside lane, the 3 and the 22. As Joe gets a good launch, 22 gets a good launch, green flag out. 39 is going to jump up there. So is the 93, the front 4, front 5, single file. Oh, and around goes the 20. And there it is. And that should do it. And we'll just wait to get the white flag confirmation. And there it is. Final lap is out, and that means that the G Lightning team will sweep all 4 races in the next gen car. And Joe Wells will win the championship for a second time in the leg here, winning the truck and now the next gen car championship. As he can get back around here to the checkered flag, Travis Gilbert will finish second in the race and the championship. And Daryl Johnson will end up third here in the race. And real quickly, let's show you the wreck that caused that. It was up here with the 20 car, unfortunately gets turned. Brian Hayes. Picklesimmer just trying to push him and just got him in the wrong spot. Turned Scott Wise around and others. As they'll come through the tri-oval. And see the checkered flag right there. Joe Wells completes the sweep for GLM with Travis Gilbert second. And Daryl Johnson, your top 3 finishers. And another wild race at Talladega. Joe Wells wins officially the championship for the next gen leg. And again, we'll come back in 2 weeks. Kicking off the 87s, which, by the way, will have a Veterans Day tribute. As you know, a lot of veterans run in this, not only in this series, but obviously along with Scott Wise and others here. So they'll do a little team photo here and celebrate likely with some burnouts. The front stretch there on his car, along with forte. Of course, front stretch, a very well-ran website that covers all types of racing, from NASCAR to IndyCar to the Cars Tour this year and F1 and stuff like that. So shout out to those guys. Did some work for them last year. Let's take a look at the final results. As Joe Wells, the master of the draft in the next-gen car, as he wins it, Travis Gilbert second, Darrell Johnson third, Shane Ward fourth, and Dylan Picklesimmer gets the top five. Tommy Rogers, Dusty White, Krishan Elliott, James Hudson, Brian Hayes, your top 10. Andrew Moore, Ryan Wilson, Al Likens, Tim Shiflett, and Scott Wise ends up 15th, unfortunately involved in that last lap fracas. Greg Thompson, AJ Condon, Jason Branch, Sam Taylor, Derek Jacobs, Eddie Rowaldi, Jacob Bowen, Pete Polini, Stephen Melnick, who unfortunately had some connection issues, it looks like, tonight, and was unable to race. Let's talk to our top three finishers here. We'll start with our third place finisher, Darrell Johnson, who had a couple of good runs there towards the end of the run here of the next-gen car. Darrell, obviously, a little bit of attrition there towards the end of this race, especially once we started talking. Obviously, you had things go down with about 20 laps to go, but man, you were able to surprise and get through everything there and come out there with a third place finish.
Yeah, I'm super happy with a third place after all the carnage that happened there after we did talk. So it went pretty bad pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, I'll take a third any day of the week for sure.
Obviously, the racing there got very aggressive there at the end, but to come out with a couple of good runs there towards the end of the season there, it's got to, I mean, I know we're switching over to a totally different monster in the 87 cars, but obviously maybe, I guess, some momentum, I guess, for that series.
Well, I missed the first race. I was traveling, so that put me a little bit behind in the overall points, but since then I've had a pretty decent season. Not great finishes, but good finishes. And I haven't got up here to talk to you much, but for sure, the next block is one of the hardest for me because you got to let out, and I'm not used to that in these kind of cars or these kind of tracks. So there's a lot to learn for the 87s. I think we'll be okay. It's just one of those cars you got to learn to drive, and you literally got to drive the car instead of just driving, following the car in front of you. So it should be fun.
It should be fun, man. Well, hey, congratulations, and send some shout outs out.
Oh yeah. Of course we talked there a little bit ago, but first and foremost, my mom, hopefully, this cancer thing, she beats it. And, the whole purpose again for the car, I'm not going to say the words, but that cancer. And then, my teammates at TNT, Sam and Al, Dylan, James, and Dusty, all of them, we all, kind of work together, and it's a blast just having them in a chat there. So, and then obviously you for doing what you do. It's great to go back and watch it every week. And then the admins for the league, they always do a great job. So thanks for all of that.
I appreciate it, man. Well, great job tonight, and enjoy the couple weeks off here, and we'll see you in a couple.
Yes, sir.
All right, Darrell Johnson, the third place finisher here tonight. And also, yeah, best wishes to his mom. Obviously, she has her battle in her hands, and we'll continue to pray for her and hopefully a full recovery there as she's in the battle there. All right, second place in the race, and also going to finish second here in the points. Oh, actually, they're going to review a video here real quickly, apparently, up there. So, I hate to interrupt Travis here, but we're going to pull him down here and interrupt his video here for a second. Sorry to interrupt the video there, buddy. But Want to bring in, obviously, a second place finisher this evening. And obviously second in the points, but another team race where you guys worked hard and at first looked like might be a little out of it, but then you get that caution late in the race, and you and Joe and even Krishan there stayed together, and you guys pull out a 1-2 again, and a team championship almost, if you will, here.
Yeah, have you ever seen a team come back from like 4 or 5 seconds behind and take the lead and then a caution? Like, I really did not want to see that caution. If this goes green, I feel like we done stretched them out. Yeah, them cautions kind of hurt us and allowed them people to get back, the teams back organized and everything, and then just, the chaos of the energy of the pack with people wanting to win, and you got a block championship on the line, and plus people just want to win in general. So it's a super speedway race. But again, like you said, that teamwork, it really comes into play. I mean, it was this our 5th 1-2 finish of the year, I think.
Yeah, something like that. You guys have definitely, you swept the 4 races here. So you guys did what you had to do and got the 1-2 for both you and Joe Wells. So obviously very impressive there. Obviously, it's going to be a little different here as we get to the 87s, because you're not going to be able to do the whole pushing and stuff. It almost becomes like a speedway type setup.
Yeah, you know what though? It's still the same thing. It's the same concept. It's who understands the draft the best, who organizes the best. If I may say, without getting too cocky or arrogant, you've seen some stuff go on in your race during the broadcast where teammates would leave other teammates to go throw a stupid block and then wreck the rest of the field. Like, why don't you just work with your teammate? You guys got 2 or 3 of you built up. Just okay, let the outside line go, then work together. Our philosophy is different, my mentality is different, and you can definitely tell throughout the race. At least I think so.
Well, obviously it worked out for you. You and Joe here tonight, obviously a second place championship run in the leg here, and then obviously a second place finish tonight. You got 2 wins. You got the most wins so far here through 8 wins or 8 races, so a lot of positives here.
Yeah, this team, it goes back to that team stuff. You can't win without teammates. I don't care where you are. However, I still feel like if you're on the front bumper of the 22, you're going to go places. Other than if you're the, I guess I should just. Anyways, yeah, we had to get rid of a person early in the race so we could, get Joe in front of me. So then, I mean, I don't know what it was like watching a broadcast, but it had to be hecka. I want to say another word, but it had to be impressive to come back from that far, and then just we blew by the pack and then blew the pack up too at the same time. So then we strung them out and stuff. So I feel like we show at G Lightning Motors and Motorsports what it's like to be a real team, and I'll take my teammates: AJ Condon, Shane Ward, Joe Wells, Eddie. I'll take them and go into battle with anybody, and I believe that we'd overcome. I feel like that's what we keep showing here. It's a tendency. Our 5 guys, one way or another. We finished 1-2-4 right there, and Krishan, I think, had one of his best finishes of the year, and he got disconnected too on top of that. So I hope he hangs his hat on that one.
Well, great job today, man. Send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, Bet the Track, everything that they do, the Masters of the Draft Series, appreciate them for stepping up. I really ask people to go over and visit betthetrack.org. It's a struggling organization. It's such a great cause, though. I happen to get some, disappointing news from the founder of it, that he's been funding a lot of it out of his pocket. We were able to fund 5 veterans to be able to go to do moto track days and stuff like that. Do another league of mine that we present in and pushing the Bet the Track organization through. We did a charity race. We got like $1,500+, so we were able to get 5 veterans to the racetrack this year. Other than that, though, this guy is pulling it out of his pocket, working 100 hours a week, trying to go to racetracks by himself. So people, go check out the Bet the Track organization. It's volunteer. It's there. You want to know what to do on a weekend? You're like, oh, I'm bored and whatever. Go check out the Bet the Track organization. You can volunteer yourself. They need help. So I hate to see an organization like that struggle, because it's such a good cause. And people I hear all the time, oh, I don't know what to do. Well, go to Bet the Track. See if they're coming to a track near you, and then go volunteer. And maybe you might have a veteran who's struggling with PTSD like me, who needs you to go volunteer them because they got too much pride and they won't do it themselves. So you never know. Just go check out the Vet2Track organization. Go do us a solid. Maybe even you might find a piece of merch that you like. These guys are battling PTSD one lap at a time with me. So, and that's why I do this cause. So just, I just pray that all the veterans and everybody that's going through something, just know that our hearts are with you, and that there's organizations out there to help you, that you don't have to be one of the 22 veterans that commit suicide a day. So we love our veterans, we care about our veterans, and I know that they don't always feel like that. So I urge and beg that if you can just go donate every $500, it gets a veteran to the racetrack. This guy's working his, off, trying to make it happen. So if you can help us, we appreciate it. Nonetheless, I still love rocking out the Vet2Track paint scheme and taking it to the front, helping teammates and showing off the cause of what it's like to battle PTSD one lap at a time, and be a veteran who's overcoming this and just being one of them guys who never give up.
Great job tonight, man. Congratulations, and congrats on the leg of 4 here.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Sorry, man. I'd like to give you a shout out too, dude. Your broadcasts are awesome. It's going to suck for my fan base and my friends and this platform to have you on these races, and then to see you gone. So we're going to miss you. Enjoy your 2 weeks, man.
Absolutely, buddy. You do the same, man. As Travis Gilbert finishes second overall, appreciate his kind words as always, as it is that time.
Hello there.
Yo, hello there.
Hello there, Joe Wells, the champion again of the Vet2Track Masters of the Draft for a second time in the 2 legs here. Unofficial. Well, I mean, let's see, you're leading by 3 going into the race.
No, I was down by 3 going into the race.
Well, you got stage points, 10 of them.
And so did Travis.
Did you get that?
Travis got, I did.
Go
I
ahead.
won a stage, I think. And I think Travis got 9.
Did you finish second?
Then, I guess. I think maths. I'm not good at the maths.
Well, 2 plus 2 is 22. I mean, hashtag Florida math.
But no, I think Lauren said she thinks I have it, and then I know there's a penalty report that might come out. I don't know if I'll be listening to it. There's a solid chance I might. There's a solid chance I might not. I'll own up to whatever I did, but we'll see what happens.
I'll just say what I said to you, to Travis. The team won the championship basically for this round.
Fuck yeah. Or I mean, heck yeah. Oops. Sorry, Lauren.
Oh man, we'll talk about the race. I know you had a little get together there mid-race, but either way, man, a fun Talladega race and a lot of drama.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to take it personal, and he said, the only race I hadn't been in the top 5 or on the podium was Dega. So I took that, with a little chip on my shoulder.
Oh, Michael Jordan, I get it.
Yeah, but it was I messed up in the beginning of the race and I lost the draft. Like I said, I've never been a fan of these cars. And Travis, God bless his beautiful heart, soul, no F-bomb. Ah, man, I'm bad at that. But bless his beautiful heart and soul for dropping back out of the pack. He came back and he picked me up, and so did AJ. And with them, we worked together and we ran the pack down after the first stage was done. But we did a fantastic job tracking down that pack and getting ourselves back in line to position ourselves well for the second stage. And then, Travis and I on the outside, I'm pretty sure is where we went. And then we just held the middle line for like 4 laps going into that second stage. So more credit goes to Travis than it goes to me. That's for sure.
Well, great job tonight, man. Obviously, to win the championship, obviously for the team, but now you get to go to the 87s, which is a whole different animal, as Travis and I talked about there. So, how do we feel about that? And there's gonna be a big difference coming in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a rude awakening, I feel like, for a lot of us. We definitely had our hiccups in the beginning of the season, kind of mellowed out. Maybe not so much today, but the 87s are definitely going to test, I feel like, a lot of our patience and possibly participation with certain people, which I understand. What I will say is I won the 87 block championship last season, so I do have some confidence going into this one that I can kind of try and keep my nose up, but I feel like more of that block's more just survival than anything.
Well, great job tonight. We'll let you go celebrate with the team. Send some shouts to really too.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to Travis, man. Love working with you. Appreciate you. I know, you and I had a really good. I mean, it wasn't a battle. I mean, we worked together for 4 straight races, 8 straight races, and this is what we love doing. So I really appreciate the selflessness on your behalf, man. So thank you. Big shout out to everybody in G Lightning Motors. Shout out Krishan, AJ, Shane, Eddie. They're in the race today. Shout out Brady. I know Brady couldn't make it. Big shout out to my boy Tom watching. Shout out my boy DJ. We got Jake at Lone Wolf watching. Big shout out to you, brother. Thank you very much. DJ as well, I'm sorry, Derek at Front Stretch as well, man. Can't thank you guys enough for all you guys' continued support. This win means a lot, actually, just because the paint scheme that I won in was the paint scheme that I was fortunate enough to have run on track last week. So get to do it one more weekend here in my homestead, and I'll bring that paint scheme out on track later this season.
Well, great job tonight, man. Congratulations on the team championship, and we'll talk in a couple weeks.
Absolutely, Chris. Hope you're doing well and have a great couple weeks, man.
Yes, sir. You too, buddy. Joe Wells, the winner tonight, and unofficially, we think the champion. And it's either him or Travis. We know that for sure. So, congratulations to those guys on a great run, and we'll see where it all goes from there. But man, what a night of racing that was at Talladega. As per usual, a wild one. So apologize for all the language. Everybody's excited. Nothing wrong with that. But either way, appreciate all the hard work that Scott and Lauren Wise do, obviously, to allow us to be a part of the series again. And big shout out to all the drivers for a fun race, all the viewers for hanging out here tonight. Great chat. And big shout out to Vet to Track, as we did talk to Mr. Wells from the Vet to Track Victory Lane here tonight. So again, big shout out to those guys for what they do. As you heard Travis kind of talking about all the hard work that Vet to Track does to take care of the veterans in the area. So that was the Victory Lane interview there with Joe Wells. Hard Charger tonight, presented by Superior Template. We peek over here and see the biggest mover in the race tonight. I have to check with Lauren on this one, but it's either going to be Joe Wells, who went up 17 positions, but he won the race. I don't know if that qualifies for the Hard Charger, or if it will go to Tim Shiflett, who went up 16 spots to 7. So one of them are going to be the Hard Charger tonight. Congratulations to them. And big shout outs to, of course, Vivid EV, and also to Wise Guy iRacing Graphics, the other sponsors here in the series. So I know Scott never going to work on all the penalties and stuff, so won't be able to get you the exact point standings, but we'll update in a couple weeks here, or if I get to tomorrow night or something, maybe I'll find a way to show you guys the standings. But we're back on tomorrow night, a doubleheader of one league. We'll have the race from last week and then a race live tomorrow night, so should work out there and be a lot of fun. So appreciate everybody for watching here on this Tuesday evening. Be safe, enjoy, and always remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation from the Captain eSports Network.